Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Disco ball hanging above me with that intro, because it makes me want to get up and cut a rug. Yes, it does. Dr. Skip Mondragon. There's all kinds of ways you can pronounce it. I saw you back there getting your groove on backstage. I have Dr. Skip here for just a few minutes. Misty Layne. I see you just getting here. I know why. She's been teasing that hair. Do people still tease their hair? You know what I mean? Okay, anyway, we'll get into all that. Welcome, you guys. It's Friday. TG to the I to the F. It's Friday. And boy, didn't the week fly by? It did here in Polar Vortex, Chicago. Minus 10 degrees yesterday morning when I came from the health club at around, I think it was 6:30 a.m. 10 degrees below. You know, that's just ridiculous. You know what? Florida's starting to sound better and better. I'm just saying they got too many bugs, and I don't like those little what are those things? Those iguana. No, I could probably qualify for the track and field events of the next Olympics with one of those behind me. I do not like them. I don't. I'm just saying. So anyway, here we are. It's Friday. I'm excited to be here with you all. Welcome to today's installment again of Bathrobe Moments, and we're gonna do something a little different. First of all, an update on the Power of We Symposium. Triple Nickel. God, I love Triple Nickel. Yesterday, they got me on the phone and they said, I thought they were going to do like a little vendor booth for $500. We got vendor stations down in the lower ballroom of the Stan Mansion. And I thought that's where they're going to go for. I had the paperwork all laid out. And they said, no, we're an apparel company. So we want to design a Power of We official t-shirt. And we want to do everything. So they took the entire challenge of getting the sponsorship for those 250 t-shirts, actually more than that, 300 when you think about all the volunteers and people that need them. We wear them the night before that Wednesday night. We hope you all will join us in beautiful Chicago. It's not so nice here now. I wouldn't recommend coming here now, for real, unless you got some Eskimo blood in you, because it's just too darn cold for me. But we want to see you here April 28th for the 3rd annual Power of We Symposium. We're so proud of this work. It is not me. It is not just that person or that person, not any individual speaker. It is what every person, those who send their love, the little old ladies in Nashua, New Hampshire last time in Atlanta, who each individually wrote 250 little inspirational notes, like grannies, you know what I mean, on these little doilies and stuff, and licked each envelope and put inspirational things in for every kid. They did them all by hand, a reading group, a book club of people. I think the average age of those women was 70 years old. So things like that. So here's a look at what's happening April 28th. Here you go. Take a look.
The Power of We was a way of inclusion, a way of inviting anyone who needed or wanted a place to belong.
It was just very clear to me that this was something that would really benefit the young folks right here.
And to be able to give them a different perspective, that I know where they come from, I know what they're experiencing because I was there too, and letting them know that there's different actions that they can take that'll lead to a different destiny.
We really needed to hear that. In order to change our community, we needed to hear that.
And they are inspired to invest in making it happen. That's powerful.
Y'all just don't know. I'm telling you what, when I see that and I think of that day on that plane when I was, Brian and I, my husband, we were leaving Las Vegas, where I'd had my very first event, which I partnered with some people. And it was when they had it set up for that pay to play crap. I didn't know any better. It was my first solo event. And I was so upset about all the stuff I saw that just didn't feel integrity based to me. I'm just saying, what you do, if you like it, I love it, but it just wasn't for me. And I was so upset. I looked at Brian on the airplane and put my headset on. I said, I'm mad. I'm going under here and I'm having it out with God. I'm going to let him know I need some spiritual Listerine to take this funky ass taste out of my mouth. And that's exactly how I said it. And do you know, before we even landed in Chicago, I promise you this is the truth. I looked over at Brian. I whipped those headphones off. I said, oh my goodness, they gave it to me. And he goes, what is it? And I said, he was like this, what is it? You know, and I was like, it's a thing called the Power of We Symposium. And I just laid it all out. And the next day, I went downtown looking for venues, wandered right into the front doors of the Stan Mansion, and the rest is history. So if you want to be a part of history, come on and join us April 28th. Tickets are on sale. They've been moving. Sold some 2 months ago we started, and we sold some as recently as just yesterday. So please get over and grab your tickets. We want to see you here in Chicago. There's a Power of We Symposium Facebook page. People talk on there about if you want to go in on an Airbnb or whatever you want to do. Just come and join us. April 27th, be there that night, and you can help us pack the swag bags. We do that at the mansion. All of us who are pouring into the kids the next day, feels just like Christmas Eve when you stand back and you look at all those bags on the seats and you're waiting for those kids to come the next morning. It's unreplaceable. You just got to come and experience, because talking about it, don't get it. Being there will. I'll see you there. So here he comes. Dr. Skip is coming in. I'm gonna bring Misty in too. Teresa couldn't be here for work, some kind of conflict, but we want to celebrate and support one of our besties, and that's Dr. Skip, who in December had a TEDx talk, and so he's trying to reach a goal with views and whatnot. We're gonna talk about that, so we're gonna get him in here real quick. Here they both come. Well, Dr. Skip, you certainly aren't, you're not, no offense, but you're nowhere near as cute as Teresa Snider, but we'll take you.
Absolutely. I am not.
That's okay. That's okay. We love you all the same. Hey, look to your left, my right, and say hello to Misty Layne.
Misty, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Now, for all of you who don't know who Dr. Skip is, first of all, he is a medical doctor, and he and his family, they spent 26 and a half years in the U.S. Army. He was deployed 4 times, spent about 30 months in combat zones, and he has numerous awards, medals, and promotions, including being promoted to colonel while he was in Iraq by Major General David. I can't even, what's his last name?
Petraeus.
There it is. I was going to say that, but anyway. He always said that he felt that his kids and his wife deserved those awards more than he did. Now, he is an amateur wrestling aficionado. He wrestled in junior and senior high, college after college. And in 2012, get this, he won a national veterans, you might as well say old guys, those are his words, championship in freestyle, one of the 2 Olympic wrestling styles at 58 years old, 58, right? And then was around again in 2013. So he has this book about wrestling depression, how it's not for wimps. And so he took a chance, and in December went ahead and tell them what you did in December that we're going to talk about real quick today.
In December, I delivered a TEDx talk in Vancouver, British Columbia, and it's entitled "Tough Guys Are an Endangered Species." And it's about the difficulty that men have identifying, expressing, and sharing their feelings, and how this leads to problems in men, maladaptive behaviors, and things such as mental illness and ultimately suicide if men don't get help.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at just a couple minutes of Dr. Skip's TEDx talk. I've already taken the liberty of dropping the link. It's at the top of the thread. You'll find it in there. Click on that after the show. Head over, and we just want you to like it, view it, so that he can. What mark are you trying to hit? What's the goal here today?
I would love to be over, I think I was at 3,000 views last night.
You were.
Let's go for 3,500 views this morning, folks, 3,600. And I would like to try to get 200 comments before next Tuesday.
That's the goal. I just left one. So you guys take a look at this.
After formation, the platoon sergeant met with Private Smith. The sergeant knew that Smith was a loner, didn't have a battle buddy. He knew Smith had marriage problems. Smith didn't have a best friend, somebody watching his back. Private, why don't you reach out and connect with the chaplain? Nah, Sarge, I don't need to talk with the chaplain. I'm an airborne ranger. I'm tough, not a sissy pouring out my heart. Okay, Private, but I'm here for you if you want to talk. 2 days later, Private Smith sat at home alone with a loaded rifle. His only companion was a note of apology. It said, "I'm sorry. I can't take the pain any longer." He put the rifle in his mouth and pulled the trigger.
Okay. There we go. That's just in the first 60 seconds. So it's about a 12-minute TEDx talk. Go over and take a look. Hey, Dr. Skip, we're going to hit that mark, but I want to take it even further. Are you willing to come back next Wednesday, February 2nd? Okay, you got to check his schedule, y'all.
I just want to make sure I don't commit to something I can't do, sir.
I know. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. Friday.
Wednesday, I am your man, Lauren.
Okay, Dr. Skip. Good. So, Dr. Skip, you guys, in the meantime, get over and view this wonderful TEDx talk. You'll find the link again at the top of the thread. Get over, and then we're going to watch it in its totality next week and do some commenting about mental health, suicide, and all the things that are contained inside this wonderful. Dr. Skip, thank you so much, you guys. Can we count on you? Thank you. I heard you say
Thank you, Lauren. God bless everybody. Have a wonderful day. And Lauren, stay warm in the Windy City, sir.
I certainly will. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Great. Adios.
All right. Bye now. Okay. Thanks for allowing that. Misty, Layne, you guys, Dr. Skip Mondegrand will be back next Wednesday. Yay. He's just the most wonderful man. Trying to get him to come to Power We Symposium, April 28th. I see you backstage drinking that coffee. Dr. Skip, You gonna try to come to Chicago? Yes or no? Wait, I'm bringing you back.
I would love to try to come. That would be so much fun, Lauren.
Yeah, you and your wife. Right.
Haven't been in Chicago in many a year.
And I want to tell you,
very moving.
It is moving, isn't it, Misty?
Very moving.
All of them. And I want to say, Dr. Skip, so your family members are going to start calling you today because I went into your Facebook page and hit up everybody that had the last name Mondragon because we're going to promote this for about 30 days. We're going to promote this every day. So I wanted them to get over here and watch it too.
Great.
So I say, who is this guy that only knows you and he's hitting us all up? I don't know. It was me. So
and you probably saw there were a lot of Mondragons. I have an extended family.
Lots of wonderful looking young people in there, and they just look incredible. So
thank you, sir.
Join us next week. That's really why I wanted to know because I knew I was going to get you back in here. So we'll see you next week. Okay?
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Okay. Hi, Misty Layne. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell everybody who you are, where you're at in the world, and what brought you here today.
I'm Misty Layne, and I am in Southeast Texas, right on the border of Louisiana. And I am here today to share with you about an exciting event that a friend of mine, we JV partnered on, and we're running our first one on Saturday. And we're just so excited. We're sold out and ready to go.
So what is it?
It's called Preteen Self-Esteem Day Camp.
Okay, explain that.
So what we do is we bring in 9 to 12-year-old girls. We have originally had set our goal for 20. We're now at 22. We bring them in for 6 hours during the day. We teach them all about financial literacy. We're actually lucky we have the first woman-made billionaire in Arizona, Miss Catherine Bell. She's going to be doing a Zoom link of financial literacy for the girls. We're going to teach them about entrepreneurship. We're going to teach them how to save money. We're going to teach them about humanitarianism. I'm going to do some writing with them, teaching them how to let go of some limiting beliefs. We're going to do vision boarding. We're going to do a TikTok dance. We're going to learn about age-appropriate makeup and etiquette. It's just going to be a fun-filled day.
Age-appropriate TikTok dancing.
Huh?
I hope you talk about age-appropriate TikTok dancing.
Of course, Lauren.
Some of those oldies but goodies.
I can't even get down with some of those other ones. My knees don't work like that anyway.
Okay. Now I want to just say, we got a question a little off topic, but what was the woman's name? Bell?
Catherine Bell.
Catherine Bell. Next time you talk to her, find out if she's just open to the idea of perhaps adopting a 59-year-old bald, short black man that lives in Naperville. I'm just saying, I still have room for a billionaire mother number 23.
I love her. When I was in Arizona the last time, I got to stay with her, and we actually went mansion shopping. It was quite the experience, and she is the most down-to-earth, just loving, sweetest woman. And she created a business, and she stuck to it, and she developed it, and now her business is about to go public, and she's going to be a billionaire. So I'm so proud of her.
That's kind of the juxtaposition in that one. She's down-to-earth and took me mansion shopping. You wouldn't think those two things work together, but apparently they do.
They so do.
So what's the name of it again? What's the name of the thing Saturday do?
Preteen Self-Esteem Day Camp.
Okay. So what made this, where did this idea, why?
So during the next Impactor competition, which is an amazing platform, I made so many collaborations. I've made so many dear, dear friendships, and found.
Never heard of it.
The next Global Impactor competition by Mr. Lauren Harris, and of course we have Jeff too. And so what we did is we collaborated. We got to know each other. We learned. We grew together. And Teresa Snider was on my team, and she and I had become friends, and now we become JV partners. We were in an event together in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I had been thinking a lot about how to give back, what we can do, because sometimes, we talk to the older, college age or the young adults, but I feel like sometimes we start giving that messaging earlier so it can sink in, so we can shape their attitudes, teach them about gratitude. So I started thinking, how can we give back? And I came up with this idea about doing this day camp. And I talked to Teresa about it. Teresa's a media host. She's really good about, just organizing, and that's her PR thing. That's her wheelhouse. So she and I partnered up, and we set the first one for Amarillo, Texas. And I mean, it has just all come into fruition. We've gotten everything donated, from the food, the building, the sponsorships. We've got scholarships. We've been able to give 5 girls free paid scholarships to attend. We partnered up with the Junior League as a donation to give back to them, to their organization as the nonprofit. So it's just really all coming about. I'm just so proud.
So let me ask something here. So what were you hearing when you were getting the calls, or the parents started reaching in? So have you been tracking things like, how many of these girls do you know of the 22 you have come from a single family setting?
I'm not sure how many come from a single setting, but there is a school, San Jacinto Middle School in Amarillo, which is a lower income school. Teresa actually targeted that school. She made contact, went out, spent 50 minutes with all of the 5th grade girls, and it was just phenomenal. And that is the school we have chosen to scholarship. So the 5 girls that were chosen, and they had to earn the scholarship position. Those 5 girls all come from that school. I can tell you some of the calls that some of the parents were saying is this has been something that, is necessary. One little girl's mother said, my daughter has a scar on her face. She's so self-conscious. She's an introvert. Maybe you can help her come out of her shell and teach her that, scars are beautiful. They're just our battle wounds, basically. It shows that we've survived something. So just, and one dad, it's his weekend, and he's just looking for something to do with his kid. I mean, there's just an array of things, parents' day out.
Wow. So did the parents drop the girls off and leave and then come back? Are the parents involved at all?
No, the only thing we're going to ask of the parents is that they listen to their child. They hear what they've learned, and they support them in it, because we're going to be teaching them accountability, responsibility. We're going to teach them how to make money, finding simple things that they can do in the community to give back. And we're going to ask the parents to support them if, when they choose to do those things, give them the support they need in it.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So what are your intentions as far as, are you going to follow up? What are you hoping to accomplish, and where are you taking this next?
Well, I hadn't necessarily had a vision of where to go next. It was really just an idea of, let's do something for the young, the young girls in the communities.
Yeah.
So this is actually a rolling camp. So we're going to be going from city to city, wherever the interest is, we're going to go. It's a pop-up camp. Okay. However, I have talked with some of the parents, and it may be able to filter into my, I have an anthology book I'm working on right now, Action Takers Who Step Up and Speak Out. Some of the moms of these girls may be interested in coming on board with me and writing a chapter, or maybe attending one of my women's retreats.
Now, really quickly, for those who may not know you, you have 2 daughters.
I do.
And when you're when you go back, a lot of you know Misty's story. If you don't, I'll ask you, Misty, to kind of give them a little input about that. But talk about, if you could, what goes through your mind. And we don't want to cut Mr. Austin out, your only son, but because of the daughter-mother relationship thing, and what happened in your life with your daughters, there was a break in the relationship. I know, especially was it, which one was the youngest one?
Well, with both of them, actually. My daughters are 3 years apart, and then there's a 9-year gap before my son was born. But my situations, it's not uncommon, that's for sure, because so many families are broken, so many families are damaged, so many families have been through adversity. So my biggest message about that is that communication is the key. We can all forgive, we can all overcome, we can all pull ourselves out of it, but we have to rebuild on the other side of it. We have to learn that there needs to be space for forgiveness. There needs to be space for trust and space for growth, and communication is the key to all of that. So with my two daughters especially, sometimes in life, you've heard of grace, things that we may not feel we deserve, but that we're graced with by God. And my kids, I don't want to cry. My kids are absolutely, I feel like I've been graced with all three of them, because my children have forgiven me. My children have, we have wonderful relationships, and it didn't necessarily look like that was going to be the case at one time in my life. So I'm very blessed.
So how much of your story and how much of Teresa's story, will you share any of your backstory with these young girls, or do you think they're too young?
I don't think they're too young, Lauren. I think that transparency is necessary in the world. I think at that age, 9 to 12, there's a lot of bullying that's going on. There's a lot of judgment that's going on. And I feel that until we're educated and we're made aware of situations and seen what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes, we can't understand it. So we make fun of it. I think transparency and just coming out and laying it on the line and telling and teaching them at a young age, this is what happens. Like, for instance, with my backstory, I'm going to teach them, we're going to do an exercise about seeing past the tip of their nose. If you focus at the tip of your nose, this is all as far as you see. But if you look eyes ahead, you can see way down the hall. And that's about you making your choices. If you choose to do drugs, when you're young, you're only seeing the consequences right here, present time. I'm going to teach them that the consequences are lifelong from that one choice that you chose, and how that affects your family dynamic and your relationship. Mm-hmm. And then I want to teach them the difference between popularity by being a bully and popularity by being an influencer, and how powerful becoming an influencer can be.
That's awesome. Gotta ring the bell on that. Jamie Layne says, no judgment, curious. Let me ask you this one. So you came up as a young girl. I don't know, how old are you when you started that beauty pageant stuff?
4. I won my first pageant, Miss Tiny Tot Review, at 4 years old.
Tiny Tot Review.
Yes. I'll never forget it.
So what about that experience? Because as you know, that wasn't all flowers and rainbows as far as that perfection piece,
right?
That hit you pretty hard as an adult. Are you going to bring any of that in? Are you going to touch up? I guess what I'm getting at is, it's because it's interesting. I work with kids and even younger than the Power We, done a lot of stuff with middle schools and elementary down to kindergartens. Now, one thing I do know, these kids take everything so literally. I didn't realize at the time when I first started speaking in front of like kindergartners that they really do, until, I remember, I'll never forget, I had a gym full of kids, kindergarten through 4th grade, and they were seated with the youngest ones right there at my feet. They were sitting on the floor of the gym. They went all the way back. And I remember the first thing I did was, we're going to take your dream, whatever you want to be. Who wants to be a this? Who wants to be a that? Tell me what you want to be when you grow up. And they started yelling things out. I said, so take it and put it in the palm of your hand. Now squeeze it and close your eyes and squeeze it. And I forgot to tell them to open their eyes and quit squeezing. About 40-some minutes into it, looked down in the front row, and there was a little African-American girl that she had about 1,000 barrettes in her hair. Doing it.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, honey, stop. You can stop. You can let go and open your eyes. But that taught me how, how kids, how literal they are. Do. So when you, and this is the first time, how do you, somebody may be thinking about doing something that impacts young kids. How do you know what they're ready for and what they're not, especially with this being your first time out?
Well, first of all, this is God's plan. This isn't mine. So I feel like he's gonna lay the path for me. So I'm just gonna trust in that. But secondly, I really have thought long and hard about, 9 to 12. It's a very impressionable age. You got to worry about what the parents think about what you're telling their children, all this. And I actually went back to the Power of We, Lauren, when I shared my very intimate, transparent story on that stage with those young kids, how receptive they were, how I had their attention. They're starving for truth. These kids want to know what they're in for in life. I want to give them the information. It's going to be up to them and their parents for them to implement. But I felt like after seeing the response from the Power of We and how the kids took in every speaker, and I didn't feel like it was over their head at all. I think it was just hard truth that they needed to hear. I decided that I'm going for it. And, I'm not going to get into, prostitution, rape. I'm not going to get heavy, but I'm going to introduce them to the world of addiction and the things that come with it.
I love that. So it's this Saturday.
And this Saturday.
When does it start? And I mean, how long is this thing?
Well, I fly to Amarillo tonight, and it is from 10 to 4 tomorrow. And parents are dropping the kids off. So we have 6 full hours. We've got Channel 10's going to be there filming, and they're going to run a story on it Saturday night. And hopefully we'll be able to our goal is to do 1 per quarter in whatever city that the interest is in. So we've already got interest in Atlanta. We've got interest in Scottsdale, Arizona. Of course, we're going to do one in my hometown, Beaumont, Houston area, and possibly one out in California.
Something I want to show, and I don't know what that is that's up there. I'm going to go back. Hold on. So you're going to Teresa's. I assume you're staying with Teresa?
Yes, I get there tonight.
Okay, let me get rid of that right there. Y'all know I'm not that techie. So, okay. So I wanted to show, you were talking about, go back real quick if you could to that moment that you were talking about. And when you were going up on, was that your first keynote at the Power of We?
Per se, yes. I'd spoken at other things, but that was my first, I think, keynote, yes.
What were you feeling right here in this moment?
Freedom, the freedom that comes with truth and the liberation that comes with transparency. Just being able to share all the things I had been ashamed of for so many years, to be able to use it for the power of good and give back.
Were you worried before when you were standing there and being introduced and you knew it was the return? What was going through
I was, as my coach, Lauren, I was a nervous wreck. And, the nerves came from me. It wasn't about my speaking. What the nerves for me is I had my mentor, Jason Cisneros, was there. You were there, my coach, my friend, and, Dawn Fawcett, who had seen me speak on other stages. All the people I looked up to were there. And so my fear was I have to get it right. It has to be perfect. And it's not just even to impress or to get that pat on the back, but it was also, I knew what I wanted my message to be, and I didn't want to leave any of it out because I felt each piece was vital and important and would give value to the kids. So I was nervous about it being perfect for them. And through your coaching and other processes, just going through it, I've learned that, what needs to come out will come out if I speak true from my heart and just let it go. And if something wasn't said, it's okay, and the nerves are gone. It's just now about giving back with your story to the people that are listening.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Listen, we're going to go to a short break, and I'm only going to do a little bit about the Power of We, but I wanted to share something that's in the news with you all. I just felt like, we don't even know what the outcome is right now, but for some reason this morning when I heard this news, I felt like we should have a moment and send some prayer, light, and love to the people who are involved in this. And what I'm talking about is the bridge collapse in Pittsburgh that happened this morning, a little over an hour and a half ago. I know a bus went into the ravine and some cars. And so anyway, we're going to go to a short break. We're going to come back, but take a look at this. Then you guys have a moment, send some light love to the people that are involved with this. Take a look. We'll be right back.
power of we was a way of inclusion, a way of inviting anyone who needed or wanted a place to belong.
It was just very clear to me that this was something that would really benefit the young folks right here.
And to be able to give them a different perspective, that I know where they come from, I know what they're experiencing because I was there too, and letting them know that there's different actions that they can take that'll lead to a different destiny.
We really needed to hear that. In order to change our community, we needed to hear that.
And they are inspired to invest in making it happen. That's powerful.
Well, all right, we're back. Thanks for joining us today. Our guest is Misty Layne, talking about your event that is tomorrow in Amarillo, Texas, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Just recently, and you guys might see, I just posted something. I waited a few weeks to post it about the Global Achievers Awards. And I got Coach of the Year, but you got something too. I think you were like you got the best something Grammy or
overall global achiever.
So talk about what that means to you.
Oh man, I was just ecstatic. It was such an honor to win that award, and working with Vicki she's such a great mentor, and I'm just really honored to try to not just reach worldwide with my message about transparency, but to work alongside other like-minded people all over the world that are also have the same vision and the same goals and the same compassion around community and humanitarianism. And it's just an amazing, amazing thing. I'm just so proud to represent them for this next upcoming year.
So what do you guys, what are you videotaping tomorrow?
We are doing segments. We're not doing.
When I made my first $1 million,
Listen, hold on.
That I have a massive social media following.
Okay, so are you? So because I want to see. Are you going to go live? How about that? Are you going to go live?
We will go live, and we're going to have media's consent signed so that we can go live a couple of times. Yes.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I sent that. You got it?
Okay. No, I haven't, but I'll check it.
I sent it to the email.
Thank you.
Okay. One other thing. Let's take a look, you guys. I wanted to find out, what it's like out there. Here's something I found, Mentoring 101, how to reach young girls. Let's take a look what they have to say about it. Yay.
Hi guys, I'm Brittany J. And we are the Little Ladies. And welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, I am so excited to have a special guest, my little ladies. Aren't they so cute? They're so cute. For those of you who don't know, I have a mentor program called Little Ladies High Standards that I have here in Atlanta for 5th grade girls. They are absolutely my heart.
That's the same age group you're going for.
It's an impressionable age. That's why I chose that age.
Fitness, just everything overall that young girls go through. And it has been really, really fruitful. Last year was the first year that I started it, and I still keep in contact with most of the girls. They're in middle school. They still call me about advice. They call me with their problems, and I absolutely love what I do. My heart has always been, since the Lord first saved me about 6 years ago, I always wanted to reach out to young girls. I always wanted to pour into them. So many girls are going through different things. They're broken. They have self-esteem problems. They don't know their worth and value. They don't have fathers in their home. And it's so easy for us to look at this generation and to complain. Many people always complain about this generation isn't like our generation growing up, or look what they're doing wrong. Look at what they're doing wrong.
That's
they're
true.
Down on them. But I'm like, hey, who's willing to go out to them and to reach out to them?
Well, clearly you and Teresa are. You know what? She reminded me of something. That's a real good point. where people, it's easy for us to say, man, these kids nowadays, but it's totally different for them today. It's a different world than when we were that age. So
Yeah,
how
we
are you
can't.
going to fill that gap between
Well,
what it was like when it was you and what it's like for them today?
Well, that's the first thing we have to realize is we can't hold them accountable to our standards. They're not the same. Kids today didn't grow up with the same structure in the home that we grew up with. They didn't grow up with the same kind of discipline we grew up with. I mean, I got spankings, and I'm talking spankings.
Whoa.
I got switchings on my legs. You know, you can't do that to a kid today. You know, I'm saying it's just a whole nother way of life. So you can't hold today's child accountable to our values, our beliefs. We can teach them what we feel the values and beliefs going forward, but it's not the same world. Technology's in play. You know, I'll use my stepdad as a prime example. He's 80 years old. He constantly complains because anyone that comes around has their phone. And I'm a multitasker. I can be checking my emails, you know, posting media, having a 100% engaged conversation.
Uh-oh. You stop. We can't hear you. What happened? Misty. Is it me? Can you guys hear her?
Ignore.
There.
Ignore.
You're coming in and out. Something happened. Did you jiggle something?
Are you there?
There. Go say something. Okay. Don't move.
Hang on, I'm coming back.
There you go.
I know what happened.
Okay.
Okay. Is that better?
The last 10 seconds of what you said. Yeah.
He doesn't. So my dad doesn't understand that those phones are computers, and we're doing our work. We're answering our work emails. We're looking at our calendars. You know, it's not being disrespectful. It's not about that. It's not that we're on there TikToking or being disrespectful or whatever. That, you know, they're actually, those devices are useful. And so it's just a generational gap. It's understanding that kids today in their world, that phone is their world. It's everything is tied up in that media.
I'm glad you.
Can you hear me? Because I'm having a really hard time hearing you.
Oh yeah, can you hear me now?
Barely. Something happened. I'm not sure what. But
over there. Okay. I'll try to talk loudly. So you mentioned TikTok, and so are you guys talking? Is there any part of tomorrow's program that deals with social media protocol, safety, how to stay safe about, you know, predators and things? Are you bringing that piece in? Because that's a big one.
We're not particularly in this particular camp. I mean, this is our first one we're launching, so we're definitely going to learn as we go, and we're going to grow as we go. But we are going to talk to them about, you know, etiquette, the do's and don'ts. Like, you know, of course, don't post your number or don't give your address briefly. But we're not doing like a whole segment of you know, structured time on it for this one. But I'm sure that it will be penciled in the next one.
So let me just ask this. Do you feel that middle school age is too soon to bring up things about abstinence and that sort of thing? Because I've spoken at schools. I remember I spoke in Juneau, Alaska, and they were talking about they had fifth graders that were already experimenting sexually.
Yeah, no, we're talking about all that. It's this is the age they need to hear it. I mean, this is the age is happening. This is the age it's happening. So they need to understand it, and they need to hear it, and they need to know if it's happening, whether it's with permission or without permission, who to talk to about it.
So do the parents ask you, well, what are you going to cover? Maybe they don't feel like they don't want that scab picked yet. How did you handle that?
Well, there's an agenda. So they had access to the agenda before they bought their tickets. So they know the topics.
Wow. So who's doing that? I don't think I could. Talking about the birds and bees part. That's a hard thing to sit there and talk about.
Well, no, we're not going in depth in it by any stretch. I mean, but we are going to touch on it. You know, like I said, just the major things, like, do you have a person that, you know, a safe person you can talk to? Do you know the difference between a good touch and, you know, an unwanted touch? Or whatever.
So what happens, Misty? What happens if a kid, you crack the shell a little bit, but the kid comes out and says, because that happened to me once at a thing called a snowball, where a kid came up to me afterwards and admitted she brought one of the retreat ladies and said, yeah, my mom's boyfriend is picking me up here in an hour, and my mom is in the South visiting my granny, and he told me that when he picks me up today, we're going to have one of those reunions that we always have before my mom gets home, and I don't want to go. And we were like, and you broach subjects hoping that it does bring something up. But when it did, I was like, I didn't know what should happen next. So what happens though, for real, Misty, if a kid comes up and says, well, actually it's happening to me, what do you do?
Well, I think I would work with the child and have them communicate with their mom or their trusted grandparent or whoever it is for them that they feel safe with, and encourage them to step up and speak out and teach them that, it's wrong, and until they talk about it, that people have to be made aware of what's going on. So I would definitely encourage the child to do that. I'll probably reach out to the custodial parent as well. I mean, I feel like that's a moral obligation. It's messy, it's hairy, you don't know how they're going to react to it. But I feel like, if anyone, whether you're in an event or you're in a grocery store, it doesn't matter what, or at a public library, if some child walks up to you and said, this is happening to me, I feel like we have a moral obligation, maybe not to get in the middle of it, but to definitely shed light on it and bring it out into the open.
Jamie, Layne, I'm assuming, Jamie, that you are saying this based on someone inappropriately, whatever. Jamie says, I didn't feel safe at home or telling my mom. So, and this is, let's just touch on this, because I know even at the Power of We, I make sure that, we just lost Misty. I know that's a great point, Jamie, because at the Power of We have, of course, Dr. Brian, my husband, who's a therapist and works extensively here with children in the Illinois area. But we also have a couple of them available. Hi, welcome back. I was saying that even at Power of We make sure that, we have Brian, and he usually invites one or two of his colleagues, have them on hand in case something triggers a kid that we didn't expect through all these stories of overcoming trauma and whatnot. And so that's a big piece, because, you want them to feel safe, but when they feel safe, they know it's a safe space. They may just bring something up to the front of the room that we didn't expect. You feel prepared for that?
Well, we'll handle it as it comes. Like I said, I'm on God's mission. So I know that I'm not going to be given more than I can handle. I'm going to handle it with as much professionalism and authenticity as I know how to do. And, that's all I can give. And, just
Jamie,
praying it'll be enough.
Jamie says she may have felt safe at home or telling her mom if she would have had a woman like Misty. Well, that's
oh,
thank you.
Thank you so much.
So what about this one? Excuse me. What about if people would like to talk to you about potentially or starting the conversation on how to get this program, this camp, in their neck of the woods? What would be, can you put into the private chat, and I'll turn it into a banner, where you would like them to go? Or you can go, if it's an easy one.
So they can go to my website, stepupandspeakout.com, under the events tab.
Go ahead and put that in the comments into the private chat, and I'll turn it into a banner for everybody. Okay. And you say that again. You said hit the what tab? The events tab.
Events tab. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still being built out for the future ones, but I have a contact me on my website. I mean, there's my email. There's all kinds of ways to get in touch with me. So just reach out to me, and we'll start organizing it.
Will you drop that? Did you drop that into private chat?
I haven't, but I can, I guess, while I'm trying to do it now. Yes.
Oh, it might be harder. Well, spell it out, and I'll type.
I got it. I just sent it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm a multi.
Oh, yeah. See, as she was bragging. See what happened? She cut herself out. I'm going to get that and bring it in for you guys. I just love what she's doing here. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm trying to get this in where you can find it. I'm going to put it down there at the bottom, and I'm also going to put it up here at the top where you guys can find it. Step up and speak out. I'm going to put that up there. Yeah, as soon as you were like talking about how good of a multitasker you were, that's funny. So there, we got that up there. We got that going. Wait, no, I want that at the bottom. I want to take that one out. Okay. Last thing. What about this? You know, I find, I'm just saying, it seems like year after year, the kids, the girls that are in that, I remember when I was that age, we didn't have 5th grade girls with boobs yet. We did not.
I had them. I don't know where your girls were.
And well, that was, think about it. For me, that was like 72 or 3, 74, somewhere in there, 73. And so it was different. Do you believe that? What you hear people say that, oh, it's the hormones in the milk and growth hormones in the food. But it does seem like, I'm serious. Like I know I had a niece who went through, I call it the change, but you know what I mean. I can't talk about that stuff. You know, she became a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. At 9 years old.
It's young. Yeah.
Is that an average? How did it change? I mean, it used to be back in the day that was like 12, 13, somewhere in there. Now it's
no, it's more. It's like 11, 12. Yeah.
11, 12, but 9.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens. Some. I mean, I was an early bloomer. I didn't get my period at 9, but I mean, I had full set of boobs. You know, going into 4th grade. You know, and that was horrible. It was awful.
So let's just. Do you remember? What did someone sit you down and say? Now look, these. You know, because Carrie on the movie Carrie, her mother called them dirty pillows.
No, but I do have a funny story around boobs. Like this year. No, not with me. They just appeared and there they were, and I hated them. People called me Boom Boom Jingo. But I can tell you with my daughter, so my younger daughter, Amber, is very athletic. She's very petite. She's a distance runner, so she's got a really small frame. Mm-hmm. And she was an avid soccer player, would just run the field and like rain the field, you know, never sat out or anything. And I'll never forget, she came to me one day in the middle of a game. And she came over there at halftime and she said, Mom, what is this? What is this? And she's like, it's in the way when I try to run. It's hitting, it's rubbing my arm. And I'm like, baby, those are boobs. And you're going to have them. I'm going to have them like Lauren has them. Because, of course, Lauren had, you know, she developed early like I did, was more of a voluptuous figure. Oh. And she's like, oh, no, we can't have that. I can't run with these things. It was just hilarious. Oh, it was hilarious.
How did she take the news when she found out, well, you know, we can't take these on and off?
She took it. I mean, you know, she's a smaller build, so she doesn't have to deal with the, like her sister does or I do, but, you know.
So let me ask you this. Do you think, okay, you're women and you were once little girls, but do you think we need men to do the same thing? And at what age should we have these kinds of camps for little boys?
I think boys mature slower. Obviously, it's a scientific fact. Girls do mature faster. So I would say more like 11 to 14 is a really impressionable age for them. A little bit later, just because they're just not ready. I don't think yet. You know, they're just not there. Mm-hmm. Little girls are there. Little girls want to play house very early in life. Boys aren't interested in that till those hormones hit them. You know. Right.
So
little girls.
What are you guys gonna do if this thing just pops off? Like ready, and you know.
Well, when it does, we're ready for it. We're ready to roll. Like I said, we're going to do pop-up camps in whatever cities there's interest for, and we're going to grow with it. If we need to bring on staff, we'll bring on staff and just nurture it and give to it what it deserves, you know. And we're really going to listen to the girls. I mean, Teresa is a landmark graduate. She's got a lot of great communication skills. And when she spent that 50 minutes at at that middle school with those fifth graders, just the amount of feedback. Like, she came out of there in 50 minutes drained. She's like, oh my gosh, these girls are like, they want to know. They want to know. No. They just want information. They want more. And so we're going to learn from them, and we're going to know what worked and what didn't work. We're going to get feedback from the parents on what they feel worked, what the girls went home talking about. We're going to do a survey afterwards. So, and we'll use all of that to kind of shape the next one. So, yeah.
And so when you guys started talking about this, it was just in the germination stage. What was the primary need, would you say, that pushed you over the edge to say, we have to do this? Why was it so important, or is so important?
Self-esteem, just, feeling your value and knowing your worth. And with the bullying the way it is, a lot of those kids hear negativity from school, from their home environment, a lot of negativity. So I just want to teach them about positivity and what that feels like. And like I mentioned earlier, my biggest piece I'm hoping to give them to take away is the positivity can come from like, you can take something, your popularity, and make it positive. I tell people all the time, think of these huge stars. Like, I'm going to use rappers because typically their songs are of negativity. They talk about sex, drugs, violence, killing their baby mamas. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And they're just famous and popular, and they have our youth. They captivate them. They hang on every word. So imagine if that same pop star took that popularity and used it for good instead, how it would make a change, how it would make a difference. So I want to teach these girls that, you might be popular in school because you're bullying or putting down someone else, but you're hurting that person. Why don't you be the change, be that one, and be an influencer and show people you make the change, and people will follow you because people want to feel good. We want that warm feeling. It's just, there needs to be a shift. So I want to teach them about becoming an influencer and how powerful it is.
That's a great mindset. And I remember when I went out pre the inaugural Power We, Lisa Nichols invited me out to, remember that? Back out, I went to California and spent 3 days with them.
Yes.
For their teen program, Igniting the Teen Spirit. And one of the things that I found really interesting was that the parents dropped the kids off on Friday, just, came in and heard the opening ceremonies, if you will, and left. But they came back for the graduation on Sunday, and it was the parents who broke down. It was the parents who stood up and admitted that I had no idea how much I was responsible for the way my daughter or son feels. I had no idea I was doing this. What about the child who admits to you when they're there that it's my mom, or it's my dad, or it's my mom's boyfriend, or whatever the case may be? Do you guys are you planning on keeping this data and tracking it, and maybe having some part where the parents get to hear the thing that the kids are afraid to tell them? What do you do in that kind of, have you thought about that? How do you get that news? What if, you know what I'm saying? Say for instance, the mom who wants a daughter to be a beauty queen and the daughter doesn't want to be, or the mom that wants the famous cheerleader and the daughter doesn't want to be, and the pressure, just like the boy whose dad is screaming from the sidelines, What about that when the parent is the problem?
Well, we're going to teach them, that they are their destiny, and they only have one life to live. And sometimes you need to create boundaries, and they need to be safe and healthy boundaries and space, and to teach them not to be disrespectful to the parents, but to stand up and let their voice be heard, and their wishes and their ambitions. And as long as they're doing things respectfully and they're doing things honestly, then, I feel like they have a chance to make that change. If they're not being accountable for their own decisions and their own actions, then of course no one's going to listen to them, right?
I agree. I just love it. I wish you guys all the best with this. I think you're going to be surprised with what it turns out to do not only for the girls and the families of these girls, but for you two as well. I just love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You guys on the screen in 2 different formats. It is inside. I'm going to, I think somebody type it into the chat, or into the comments rather, where you guys can just click and head right over to stepupandspeakout.com, and not just the events portion, but look at all the things that Misty Layne has to offer, her women's retreat and her book and just her television show. Tell everybody what day and time they can catch your show.
My show is scheduled, it's Dare to Share with Misty Layne. It's scheduled Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central.
Okay.
I've kind of dialed that back a little bit right now. I've got a lot going on, but, you know, they'll be warning it a Tuesday or a Thursday at 6.
Sounds great. Misty Layne, thank you. A pleasure as always. And thank you all. Thank you for coming in here today and pouring into us and allowing us to pour into you. You guys, you know, the greatest opportunity we have is to come together. 2 or more is all it takes for something wonderful to happen. Now, get out there, have the best weekend ever, and take great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, and bold to bolder. How? By finding 1 E and 1 R. Scoot it right over to where you find yourself, no matter what it looks like. Attach it, and you'll see you're already great. So you guys, I'll see you Monday morning, God willing, right out front on the front porch. Our guest Monday, Steve Patterson. Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to tell you. Wait till you see. The promo will go out later today, and you will see it all weekend. Mark your calendar. Meet me out front Monday morning, and let's change some lives through our together time, known as Bathrobe Moments. Bye, Misty. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Love you. Okay.
Love you. See you at the Power of We, April 28th, right?
Absolutely.
Hope to see you guys too. Get over
it. And I think Austin's coming too.
Yay! We'll probably get him back up on the stage.
Yay!
For my young people.
Yes.
I'm still looking.
Okay.
Ask him if he's interested.
I will.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You guys,
love you.
Monday. Have the best weekend ever. Thank you so much for making me love life. Bye-bye, everybody.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine.